it never stops.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Double here we go today. Nicholas Jackson back to Bayern Munich. It's done. An agreement has been made. The player did not return to Senegal. He's going to become a Bayern Munich player. We'll speak about that. A package worth up to 80 million euros. Big boy money for Chelsea. Fulham agree a move for Tyreek George, a pure profit sale out of nowhere, and of course Chelsea confirm and announce Facundo Bonanotte. He's done. He's a Chelsea player. I might read a little bit from the Athletic on that as well, and speak a little bit about Anselmino. There's loads of deals that are going to popping off. Free at time of recording, 2 hours and 40 minutes from the transfer deadline. There could be an evening video tonight, but I want to keep you updated as much as possible and fill the channel with content for you guys. So hopefully you're here for the ride with me. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Let's get into it. Right, very busy. One thing that I actually haven't spoken about yet, of course we've done a lot of business. We've done a few doubles, haven't we? We've done 2 players to Burnley in Leslie Ugachukwu and Armando Bria. But also we've done Carney Chukwuemeka, permanent sale, returned to Borussia Dortmund, and he took to the field this weekend. And as did Aaron Anselmino, of course, the Argentinian centre-back we've sent on loan without an option, without an obligation. And he did really well, to the point where the Dortmund social media accounts, the English one mainly, was posting a lot of prop about Aaron Anselmino. He had a really good debut, an excellent platform, Dortmund, for young developing players. And it's early, it's only one appearance, but I've got a really good feeling that that will prove to be an excellent developmental loan for the young Chelsea centre-back, a player that Chelsea really like. Okay, so we're going to get into it. Before we talk about Jackson, let's talk about Tyreek George and Fulham, because Fulham were looking at a winger. There was a chance they'd talk about Raheem Sterling just earlier today. Of course, developments are really quick, changing all the time. And they've ended up with Tyreek George from Chelsea, which, by the way, I think is an excellent signing for them. He's 19. He doesn't turn 20 until February last year. He's played a lot for Chelsea on both wings and indeed down the middle as a striker. I don't think he's great there, but it's 22 million pounds sterling. So what's that, like 28 million euros? He will be gassed about this because he was going to Roma, that he wasn't. He originally was going to Leipzig, that he wasn't. And, last time I was recording, Leipzig were back in. This is how crazy and ever-changing the deadline day is for the transfer market. And he's wound up at Fulham, which can only be described as a really good move for him under a great coach in Marco Silva. He literally doesn't have to move. He stays in Fulham. He won't be in a relegation battle. He'll be playing for a good side, and it's a great player for them. The players that usually end up at Fulham, like ex-Chelsea, I know Loftus-Cheek went there when he wasn't too old, but you think of like Willian and stuff. But to get like one of Chelsea's young, really quite good players, this is a deal that suits all. David Ornstein writes the following on The Athletic. Tyreek George is set to join Fulham on a permanent transfer from Chelsea. The package is worth £22 million. Must say, I thought like maybe it would be like 20 million euros, but to be over 20 million pounds, 22, is really good. And of course, unsurprisingly, just like Carney Chukwuemeka, just like Renato Vega, there is a sell-on clause. When I mention names like Renato Vega, Carney Chukwuemeka, Joao Felix, Christopher Nkunku, plus all these other names coming in, Alex Matos, Bashir Humphreys, Alfie Gilchrist. Chelsea have made an app, and there's loads of names I've missed, certainly. The aforementioned Leslie Ugachukwu and Armando Bria. Chelsea have made an insane amount of sales this summer transfer window. The revenue generated from sales, we'll have to tally them up this evening. If we will do like a roundup video, because it is chicken oriental, mate. There's so many sales. So he's signing a 5-year deal, which will take him to the ripe old age of 24. George made his first appearance of the season on Saturday, of course, as a first half substitute for Liam Delap, and of course he was substituted as a substitute, but I don't think that was necessarily a reflection from his performance. He seemed to be quite. Maresca was very happy that he did. He came on and played a part. He enjoyed the last campaign, was a breakout season for him under Enzo Maresca. He featured 26 times, and he would have been like 18. Do you know what I mean? This is significant. He played in every game of Chelsea's Conference League campaign, except the final against Real Betis. He would have been disappointed by that, but of course, very, very good contribution. Chelsea, though, have been active during the winger, adding to their winger depth this summer, of course, though Madueke joined Arsenal and Jadon Sancho was not signed following a spell from United. Of course, we got Jamie Gittins and Alejandro Garnacho, and of course, Stevao joining as well, who's seen as like a number 10 winger, pretty much a baby Cole Palmer. Although, we'll see what's happening with Bonanotte as well. He joined Chelsea at under 8 level, and he is been in part of the youth setup at Chelsea and under 21s England. So we wish him well. 22 million quid pure profit with a significant sell-on clause. Chelsea could be generating a lot of revenue with these sell-on clauses. I doubt it's as much as the 40% Renato Vega one to Villarreal, but a lot of money to be made. All right, let's do Jackson next, and then we'll talk about Bonanotte, and we can speculate afterwards. So, yeah, Matt Law reporting earlier this afternoon. So we've got the here we go again from Jackson to go back to Bayern. Chelsea have agreed a new, bigger deal with Bayern Munich for Nicholas Jackson. Bayern Munich have agreed to pay a £14.2 million loan fee with an obligation to a further 56.2 million. Now, this is based on appearances. We could speak about that in a moment. The total deal is worth just under 70.5 million pounds, which Chelsea will be very pleased with. Jackson is now completing the formalities of the deal and must be very relieved that he is staying in Munich. The loan fee has increased from an initial £12.9 million to £14.27 million. This is very much a record loan fee. And, of course, the deal of €80 million is a lot of money, especially with the permutations of everything changing in deadline day, him refusing to come back, and stuff like that. Let's talk about this. So €80 million is a lot of money. And if the deal gets done, Chelsea fans' position on Jackson will be different. A lot of us will think, we'll just bring it back. We need him. We're short. Some people are thinking, well, he's never for me. This is an opportunity here for a lot of money. Let's try and sell. The fact how this deal is worth 80 million euros is a lot for a guy who's not the first choice striker. But the appearance clause is interesting. Now, if Bayern Munich really are that keen on him, and by all accounts, they were really keen to get this done. They're the ones who, made sure the deal wasn't dead in the water. Chelsea was saying, come back. They were like, you can come back to London. They said, go back to London. They'd said that Bayern, not to say the deal's over. Romano is insistent the deal was never dead. It was like, well, return to London for a bit. We need to, sort this out. Do you know what I mean? But, What I'm getting this here is they really like and want Jackson. So if they really like and want Jackson, they will play him. And Chelsea, I'm relatively confident, I'm hopeful that Chelsea would have done this deal thinking that the obligation clause is realistic. I don't want to speculate too much, but an amount of appearances. Obviously, he's not starting over Harry Kane. We all know that. So I can't imagine it's minutes. It's going to be appearances. They'll be sort of banking on Vincent Kompany to bring him off the bench. Who knows, to play him with Harry Kane in certain instances. And it's a great deal ultimately. And if Chelsea are confident that clause will be met, the obligation will be met, 80 million euros is a big boy ting. Right, we're going to speak about Bonanotte and then end on the speculation of another signing. Of course, we've got Mark Gue, but is that enough? That's the question. By the way, Liverpool have signed, it looks like they're about to sign or have signed Mark Gue. Their spend is now comfortably over. It's over 520 million euros. It's over €500 million comfortably. Game's gone, mate. I know I'm a Chelsea fan. I can't talk about spend, but my word, 520 million euros. Anyway, Simon Johnson of The Athletic writes the following: Chelsea have confirmed the signing of Facundo Bonanotte from Brighton. Of course, he was about to join Leeds. He's come to Chelsea. He joined Brighton in 2023, in January 23, for a down payment of £5 million. He's made 50 appearances. And he's coming to Chelsea on loan. Of course, he was at Leicester City last campaign. Now, Tom Harris has written a little bit of an analysis here. It's very short, but it gives us an idea of what we've got him. Bonanotte was a bright spark on loan at Leicester last season, a lively attacking player who stood out with his quick feet and adventurous approach to the game in difficult circumstances towards the bottom of the Premier League table. Now, you'd think that player that tries to make those exciting, ambitious, adventurous moves with better players around him, with stronger defensive players behind him, can flourish more, can do more. He scored 5 goals, only training Vardy in the league, yada, yada, yada. Chelsea had to move on for Leipzig's Xavi Simons, who had signed for Tottenham Hotspur. They were evaluating a move for Barcelona's Fermin Lopez, but they decided against the move. So, they didn't call Simons. They decided against Fermin. This seemingly has all been on Chelsea's terms. Whether you agree with that or not is up to you, and you can criticise that, and I would sort of understand it, to be honest. Bonanotte seems to be an alternative solution as Chelsea look to take some weight off Cole Palmer's shoulders, a player who can drift between the lines and receive passes and help to move the team forward. So this has been reiterated, keeping a space free for Kendry Pires when he returns next year. It's nice that they're forward planning, that they're thinking about Kendry Pires, because he's supposedly like, not quite Steval, but like a generational talent. So why not just, think about him and future plan? Maybe that is sensible. As always, Chelsea is spinning plenty of plates in the transfer market, but a temporary move for Bonanotte provides short-term cover in that number 10 position at a low cost, while the club monitor the progress of others. Yeah, let's not write off the young talented kid and having cover. Like, of course, all football teams, especially at the elite level, have found themselves in moments going, why don't we have cover for this player? Why don't we have cover? But will Chelsea do something else? Right, 1 second. Okay, so this is the question everyone's asking, because Chelsea made loads of sales. Chelsea haven't made any heavy investment. Everyone's presuming, being presumptuous in that there's got to be money left for a big signing. Chelsea have evaluated the situation. Pires, returning players. Do we want this kind of high-profile player in Maresca's squad? Is that going to be a balance? I think there's more concern about the striker options, because now it's a lot of weight on Mark Gu's shoulders. Liam Delap, by all accounts, is going to be out for weeks. Let's just say a couple of months. Granted, 2 of those weeks is international break. That's still 6 weeks of Premier League playing time that you don't have that conventional number 9, and you've only got your false 9 in Joao Pedro. Except you've got Mark Gu. How ready is Mark Gu to come in and facilitate attackers like, Steval, Joao Pedro, Cole Palmer? Maybe if you literally just need a guy to occupy centre-backs and ball, and this is not to denigrate Gu, who I believe can become a really great young striker. If you just need someone to occupy centre-backs and be physical with them while those other guys cook, maybe Gu's the guy and he can do it. Like, I would love for him to. It would be a great story. Young man, he's been with us for a little while. He's been a good citizen. He's been a good trainer. Yeah, he scored, a few goals in the Conference League, and we're all feeling pretty good about him. Why not him do well? But this is Chelsea, and do not rule out something percolating in the background, in the shadows, for a final piece of market opportunity transfer action. Guys, keep it locked. It's going to be an insane climax to the transfer window one way or another. I'll be covering it here. We'll do all the ins and outs at some point. If nothing else happens, I might leave it. But at 7 p.m, if something happens, we will round it up. Keep it locked. Thank you for liking and subscribing and hitting them hype points down below. It does help me out as a content creator. And of course, if you like my content, you're welcome to check out the content on the second channel. Drink every time I say content. Right. Keep it locked. See you in a bit. Peace.